Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the most insane thing that has happened in gaming in 2004. This game is gonna be an absolute disaster, and I don't think there's any way to salvage it. But, hear me out, not for the reasons you probably think and suspect, because a miracle has happened. This game is not woke. This game is none of the things of modern gaming that we perceive bad. It's not meant for modern audiences. In fact, the female character is very likable. But there are other issues with the game. But all in all, this is a pretty good game. And that is beyond shocking. Okay? And it's hilarious at the same time. But it's gonna be a disaster because no one's gonna play it. It's by Bethesda. It's by the people who made Wolfenstein Double Vomit Tragedy. And that's pretty much it. And the marketing. I looked back at the marketing for this game. The interviews. The literal them in front of the camera with a rainbow flag pin saying that this is going to be made for modern audiences. And the trailers themselves, the gameplay that looks horrible, the parts of the story, the cutscenes that look horrible. And none of that is actually in any way even remotely close to the real game. It is insanity! This is the greatest bait and switch in the world. Now, it's a miracle it's not woke, but that doesn't mean that necessarily it's actually the best game ever. This game is something like kind of Dishonored, but not really anywhere near as good as Dishonored by gameplay standards. But the cutscenes are pretty decent. By the way, you're watching a part of it, and just look at it. There's no woman power. She is actually a great person by itself. Now, admittedly, there are huge problems with the game, and one of the biggest problems, by the way, this is pure fucking Indiana Jones right here. They nailed it, okay? They made it pure Indiana Jones delight. But somehow in the trailers, they put the worst scenes ever. It's like they intentionally tried to sabotage this game in the start with the marketing material and everything. This game could have probably sold very well, but currently it doesn't even have 5k concurrent players on Steam. Either no, everyone likes it. But again, it's by Bethesda and Wolfenstein Double Vomit Tragedy. The most wokest, dumbest companies ever. How the hell did they pull off Indiana Jones to not be woke in the modern age is a mystery. I am literally flabbergasted doing this. I don't even know honestly what to say, but let's go into a little bit of detail. Somehow it's not woke, but that does not mean it's the best game ever. The graphics are typical Bethesda. 20 years ago, this would have been acceptable. In these hands, just like in the gameplay trailers that you see, are fucking disfigured noodles at best. There is no other way to describe in these hands if not disfigured noodles, sadly. They look disgusting, they look out of proportion, they look weird. And in a couple of cutscenes, this is not one of them, in some the characters look good. For example, here it's decent, okay? They didn't make the hottest woman character, but at least, well, you know, she kind of looks like all the red flags, but trust me, she is not a red flag. In some cutscenes, these characters are literal fucking nightmare fuel, okay? They literally look like Satan himself goddamn crafted something to scare kids at night. But in others, they do look fine. So, visually, the game's kind of Dishonored. It plays like Dishonored without the abilities, which makes it a shitty fucking low take on Dishonored. Way less freedom and whatnot. The gameplay is nothing to write home about. The puzzles are very simplistic. It's pretty nice. She kind of gives you small hints on what's actually happening and what you need to do if you are stuck anywhere. But it's not like in your face you're stupid and she knows the right answer. This is the first game in such a long time where a woman character like this just actually seems like a normal, sane person. It is insane to even speak about this. Okay? Just stop for a minute And listen what Gina says and what Indy says and how he replies. This is just normal human behavior, which needs to be celebrated in the modern day. But yeah, most puzzles are pretty lackluster easy, honestly. You get hints really, really fast, honestly, for a lot of crap. And in the first place, they're not really hard to understand. But again, the dialogue is fine. You never really question too much what's going on here. You get to fight people, which is not the best experience. The animations are kind of fucking dick all shit. But again, we're talking about Bethesda, and well, everything Bethesda does looks 20 years out of date, and this is no exception. Again, there are gonna be better places and worst places when it actually comes to the animations. The initial start of this game is pretty much just a pure retelling of the already existing movie, which is kind of great. There's multiple different locations. The villains seem villainous. The good guys seem kind of good guys. There is like as far in the end or something like that. I have heard there is a little bit of race swapping or something. If I get it, understand it correctly with this guy or whatever the fuck is this. I don't even know if that's true. Honestly, I don't want to believe that that's even true at this point. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the most insane bait and switch of 2024, and in a good way. How do you manage that? Bethesda, Microsoft, you need to fire everyone, every single fucking person that had even the slightest bit to do with Indiana and the Great Circle's marketing, the videos that you released, and everything. This game could have easily outperformed Dragon Age Veilguard on Steam. Easily. But now, even if people talk good about it, which is still kind of honestly a stretch, I'm talking currently good about it mostly because it's not woke, and that's a fucking miracle. But again, the gameplay is kind of like boring in a lot of ways, and stuff of similar-ish things. It's very the locations are good that you go to. They're pretty interesting. They're pretty well made. It is, again, it feels like Dishonored, but it's a little bit more a spectacle for the eyes than actual fighting or anything like that. So yeah. Also, this guy's a giant, by the way, a literal giant. So it's insanity. This could have been successful. This at least could have sold enough copies to actually make it worthwhile. But Bethesda and Microsoft decided to make the trailers girl boss and shit. Again, I rewatched the trailers for this and all of that. And if you ask me just to judge on the trailers, it is still woke shit. But the reality is different. This is the greatest failure of 2024 because this could have been good. People would have actually did this for the story, to see the cutscenes, to play it for those reasons. Again, the real combat is just who honestly cares about it? It's like Dishonored, but the Dishonored, like 10% of how good Dishonored was. Okay, that's Indiana Jones. There are some nice things, the musical score, the actual sound effects. The animations themselves are fucking horrible for the most part. The whip animations are shit. The hit animations are kind of pretty bad. It very much is akin to Star Wars Outlaws. And again, the fact that this woman doesn't look like a woman in a lot of cases. This is probably one of her best scenes where she looks the most decent because there is, shadowing and whatnot. It's also unreasonably based. I'll find the Egypt part here, okay? Okay. Okay, still. Okay, up. Based. Okay, not gonna lie, it is what it is. This woman is ugly. I And she's not even a girl boss. There's 2 women characters, and none of them are your typical girl bosses. They're reasonable people, kinda. I don't know what to say. This is the greatest bait and switch of 2024, or in gaming's history, in the worst ways possible, technically. How did they manage to not make this smoke? I don't know, but I'm losing my mind, boys. I'm losing my mind. And the best part, the outcome of this is gonna just be the fact that they think, oh, we can continue making Vogue stuff because when we make non-Vogue stuff, people still don't buy it. Yeah, because you ruined your reputation, Bethesda and Microsoft. No one expected even 1/10 of how good this game is. And again, I'm not saying the game's great. It's like a 6 or 7 out of 10, depending on how much you want to see the cutscenes, on how much of an Indiana Jones fan you are. If you're a huge indie fan, this game actually might be like an 8, or, super fan 9 out of 10. Because again, pretty decent. It's just the animations and other things that let it down, and the fact that it's made by Bethesda that makes everything look 20 years old when it's not. It is insanity. Anyway, this was Chris Citizen. Bye-bye.